In Russia, they used to say, back when it was the Soviet Union, they said, the workers used to say, they pretend to pay us, we pretend to work. Just like that. And that's what I think, it's our medicine. You know, that's the way our medicine is that he pretends he's healing me and I pretend I'm fine. But you're not fine, we're not fine. If we're on prescription drugs, we're dying, we're breaking down. We studied this in pharmacy school. So I studied nutrition on the one hand as medicine, healing tools. I studied diseases as deficiencies. I studied drugs as poisons. I remember we saw this movie on a drug called Indoral. Anybody ever heard of Indoral? Okay? This is revolutionary back in the 80s. Indoral, for those who don't know, is a very powerful blood pressure medicine. And it's now, when you have high blood pressure, the first thing they give you is a diuretic. The second thing they give you, sometimes it's the first thing they give you, is this beta blocker. What does it block? It blocks your heart. Oh, this is how we'll take care of your blood pressure. We'll stop your heart. That's how we'll take care of your blood pressure. What planet am I on? How does that even work? If you're taking a beta blocker, it's stopping your heart. That's how it works. You think there'll be toxicities? Of course there's toxicities. So we see this movie on Indoral, how Indoral is going to revolutionize the hypertensive business, the cardiac business, the heart disease business. The movie's about a half hour. The first 2 or 3 minutes is how great Indoral was. The last 27 minutes was somebody reading the side effects. No kidding. Reading the side effects. Endless side effects. And if you see a package insert, you know what I'm talking about, the package insert that comes, you see all these side effects. Imagine somebody having to read all those. It took her 27 over 30 of the movie, whatever that is. 90+% of the movie was the lady reading the side effects. What's wrong with this picture? So, anyway, I got this background in nutrition, got a background in toxicity and medicine, medicinal health, and then on top of all that, one day I'm walking through the basement of the School of Pharmacy in Boulder, and I smell this pepperminty smell coming out of one of the rooms, and I walk into the room, there's this little old man, he's tinkering around some beakers, and I start talking to him, he starts talking to me, and we became friends, and at the end of about an hour talking to this guy, Tony Jones, he says, hey, you want to be my research assistant? I was like, sure. It turns out that this little room I walked into with the pepperminty smell was the Blistex research facility, where all the Blistex products are developed, and Tony was the guy who invented this stuff back in the 1930s. And so for the next 4+ years, 4.5 years, while all my colleagues are off getting their internship hours at Safeway and Walgreens and drugstores, I'm getting my internship hours in the Blistex lab, learning everything, and I mean everything you could possibly want to know about how the skin works, about cosmetic chemistry, about ingredients, about how you test products, everything, soup to nuts. And I leave pharmacy school with a background in skincare, a background in emulsion chemistry, cosmetic chemistry, background in nutrition, and a background in medicine. So I started to work in pharmacies. I was horrified not only by what was in pharmacies, I felt so guilty giving kids Ritalin and poisons. They used to give for kids bedwetting, they would give these powerful antidepressants. This was before the days of Prozac. Bedwetting, they give a kid antidepressant. Well, of course he's depressed, he's bedwetting. It's not going to stop his bedwetting. He's depressed, he's got a problem. You don't want to give kids poison because you can't handle some kind of psychological problem. So anyway, I felt horribly guilty, but I had this background in skincare. In the back of my mind, I was like, I'm going to start working with skin. And so people would come in with issues about their skin, and I start giving them nutritional supplements to take care of their skin because I understood how nutrition works. And I'm like, oh my God, eczema's going away, acne's going away. Then I started making skincare products using nutrition on your skin because your skin is your digestive system inside out, and these dramatic results are occurring. So I'm like, I'm going to start my own little pharmacy, which I did. I started a nutritional compounding pharmacy that specialized in the skin. That's all we did is skin, and that's all we do is skin. But as I started to develop my proficiency and I started to develop my understanding of the power of nutrition, I'm like, everybody has to hear this stuff. Everybody has to know this stuff. I've seen acne disappear, eczema disappear, people lose weight, blood pressure drops so fast that people drop too low because they were on blood pressure drugs. Cholesterol problems go away. The most incredible things happen when you start to operate your body. You start to know the code of the body. The body has a code. I was talking to a friend of mine, he's like, he didn't understand women. I was complaining about women, okay? Go figure, right? So he's complaining about women. I said to him, Tabiti, just because you don't know the code, don't blame the safe. Okay? And I thought that was really clever, actually. I still think that's clever. But that's the idea, right? It's the body has a code, and we gotta know, it's a safe, and you gotta you gotta figure the code out. Everything in life has a code, folks. Our whole life has a code. That's the mission of our life, is to figure out the code, to have a good life. So now, these days, I talk about the power of nutrition, but if you've heard my program, I talk about a lot more than nutrition. Because the code to a successful life is spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, in that order. In that order. And I don't want to be the kind of nutritionist that says, just take this vitamin or that vitamin or this pill or that pill or do this or that. It's not like that. You have to have a spiritual dimension active in your life, whatever that is for you. Okay? Non-denominational. Whatever that is for you. Something bigger. Where's my friend who was showing me the cosmos recently? Or there you go. Okay? I was looking at a picture of the cosmos. My favorite prayer book in the world is a Barnes & Noble. It's a big coffee book, or a coffee table book, with pictures from the Hubble telescope. You ever seen that? Yeah, that don't make you spiritual. Nothing will. That'll bring you to your knees. Nothing will. We live in a cosmos that is so unbelievable. Okay, and that's the macro scale. On the micro scale, holy moly. What goes on in your body, ladies and gentlemen? How dare we be depressed? We should be on the phone every minute calling our friends. Do you know about DNA? Do you know it's 125 million miles of DNA in your body and it's all squished together in a little tiny cell? 64,000 of them fit on a pinhead and it's a blob of jelly and 100 trillion of them get together and they run your body? The most incredible stuff. And we're just, oh, my friends, I broke up with my girlfriend. Oh. You know, there's so much majesty and power all over us on the cosmic level and on the little level. Right? Okay? So that's my whole, what I want to say here is spiritual, mental, emotional, physical. You've got all these dimensions that have to be active. And I never look at somebody who's sick and just say, just take this pill or that pill. You've got to work on all the different levels. But from a physical level, there is a code that nobody told us about. That nobody told us about. In fact, it's the opposite. They told us the wrong information. And I talk about memes. You guys have heard the term memes? Remember me talking about memes? A meme is a unit of information that spreads. Like a gene. A gene replicates and spreads itself. Well, there are memes that do the same thing. Richard Dawkins wrote a book called The Selfish Gene, where he talks about how genes spread. And he says that genes don't care about you. They don't care about you. They just want to spread. You're just a carrier for it. That's all. You're a vector. That's all you are. And memes are the same way. They're units of information that don't care about you. But we have units of information in our culture that spread that don't serve us, such as, I'm sick, I'll go to the doctor. That's a bad meme. That's a terrible meme. Or, I have a headache, I'll take a pill. That's another terrible meme. Or, I have dry skin. Oh, ladies, let me tell you something. Men too, but especially ladies. The dumbest thing you can ever put on your dry skin is a moisturizer. The dumbest. It's a surefire way to guarantee you use a moisturizer the rest of your life. And whose interest is that, do you suppose? Do you suppose? It's not in your interest. We love that at Blistex, by the way. You ever notice you get addicted to your Blistex? Same idea. When you use lotion, you shut down your skin's natural moisturizing properties.